The story I'm about to tell you disgusts me, breaks my heart, and makes my stomach hurt. Basically what happened is, in 2004, this country faced one of the most severe droughts that led to one of the greatest food shortages, leaving millions of Kenyans to starve, even worse than the current drought situation. As a result, the National Cereals and Produce Board decided to give a tender to five companies in an urgent attempt to import maize from abroad to solve the situation, and these companies were given the trust to help and solve the dilemma facing millions of Kenyans, to help their fellow brothers and sisters escape a situation that would literally kill them. Now, from one of these five companies was the company Erad Suppliers Limited, led by partners John Walafalula and Grace Wabarura. I mean, they're so impunity that I don't even have the time to learn their names. But basically what they did was, they said they had imported the maize, and the maize had stayed for very long with them, that had caused them to incur huge losses due to storage charges. So they went and appealed to the National Cereals and Produce Board through legal means that the cost of importing the maize is 297 million shillings and the cost of storage at 114 million shillings, in an attempt to claim a whopping 411 million shillings. And that's fair, right? As a company, I was promised that I would receive my funds. I've imported the maize. I should receive my money on time. No harm, no foul. And so, of course, the court ruled in this favor. They had all the invoices and supporting documentation, and they were promised and given 313 million shillings plus 12% interest for the loss of profit and the cost of storage that they'd incurred. But what people found out through the process of auditors, this is a huge sum of taxpayers' money, is every single piece of documentation was fraudulent. These guys never even imported the grain, defrauding millions of Kenyans, not even leave the taxpayers for now, who had worked hard and grinded and hustled to create these funds, but they stole from the millions of Kenyans who were starving. Now, these people have received a combined term of 67 years in prison if they can't pay 1.8 billion shilling fine. But I feel that punishment is not enough, because this John fellow was actually voted by us as the people. We put the trust in him to become the MP for Sirisia County. And the same person we brought into power to come and protect us is the one stealing from us. I believe they should be sentenced to death, as was the case with Sun Linjam, a former Chinese minister of public security who last month was sentenced to death in China for accepting bribes and manipulating the stock market. I mean, he was sentenced to death and he didn't take bread away from people who were dying. These people looked at a vulnerable situation in our country where hundreds were facing an extreme dilemma that we cannot even wish upon our worst enemy, and decided not only to profit from it, but to exploit the economy from it. I believe this is completely unacceptable, and if our country wants to move forward, it needs to be made extremely obvious such levels of corruption will not be tolerated. Anyways, I know I'm a bit frustrated, but it's pissing off. So let's just end it with a peace.